What? I turned around to his smirking face. What did you just say?
Yeah, we're going on a trip tomorrow, just the two of us.
Just the two of you?
Yeah, it's not relaxing at all here, with a baby being fussy and you bustling around. We're going overseas for a change of scenery.
Seriously? What was he thinking? He was the most relaxed person in the house, and yet he talked as if he needed a break, and overseas no less. Exactly, Linda agreed. Honestly, dealing with an incompetent daughter-in-law is such a drag. It'll be tough for you with us gone. I almost said I wouldn't mind at all, but I stayed silent. Then grinning, Linda said, Take good care of Scott and the house while we're gone. We're going to stretch our wings for a bit. Watching them excitedly discuss their trip, it felt like something inside me was breaking. Then they left me, the baby, and Scott, and went on their trip. Jackson had apparently taken paid leave and they wouldn't be back for a week. Whatever, I don't care anymore, I thought as I saw them off. How could they think they have a hard time when I'm the one working the hardest? How could they treat me this badly? I'm such a fool for trying so hard, I said as tears began to fall. I tried to stop them but couldn't. Once the tears started, they wouldn't stop. I needed to pull myself together. I was a mother after all. Look, the baby is crying. I needed to go and hold her, but I couldn't move. What a failure I was. Just then, the baby's crying stopped. Huh? I looked up, surprised, and felt something warm on my shoulder. Looking over, it was Scott sitting beside me, patting my shoulder. He smiled gently at my sleeping baby. Scott?
I'm so sorry, Jill. Thank you for all your hard work.
You can walk?
Well, more like crawling. Looks like I might be able to have a crawling race with my grandchild.
He joked with a gentle smile.
You don't need to try so hard anymore.
But
I'm getting better at moving a bit on my own. I'll take care of myself and help around the house as much as I can.
Oh, Scott.
You don't have to try so hard anymore.
He reassured me, patting my back like a real father, and I couldn't help but cry out loud. I didn't have to try so hard anymore. In that moment, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. A week later, the sound of the baby's cries filled the house. Hold on, I'm coming, I said as I hurried. But then I heard Scott's voice.
It's okay, I'll change your diaper.
Peeking in, I saw him humming as he changed the diaper, and relieved, I went back to finish my lunch. A leisurely meal, how wonderful. Just then, my phone rang. It was my husband. Hello?
Where the hell are you?
Jackson yelled. I could hear the fury in his voice over the phone. Where? I'm at home, I replied calmly.
When we got back to the apartment, it was empty.
That's because I moved out.
You moved?
His surprise was understandable. Right now, he and his mother must be standing dumbfounded in front of an empty, spotless room.
When did you move?
When? Right after you two went on your trip.
What the hell? Get back here now.
I can't, I've already canceled the lease.
You canceled it?
Well, it's not immediate. We have until the end of next month. You can stay there till then. Just keep it clean, I said, managing the situation with ease.
Why would you cancel it on your own?
I can do what I want. After all, that apartment was mine to begin with. Indeed, I had rented that apartment since before we were married. Back when I was single and earning a decent income, I chose a reasonably spacious apartment because I didn't like cramped spaces. When we got married, I just continued living there. Of course, Jackson had never paid the rent.
You rented it, so you should pay for it,
he said, expecting me to bear the costs, as usual. And by the way, the same goes for the utility bills. I have been covering them with my savings since I left my job after giving birth. Forgot about that, did you? Who do you think you owe your living to? You said, but really, who do you owe it to? I challenged him, since he rarely contributed financially. At this, he fell silent, unable to respond. On the other end of the phone, Linda shouted, Jill, what on earth do you think you're doing? Oh, Linda, did you enjoy your trip abroad? Were you as lazy there as you are here? That's none of your business. You're right, it has nothing to do with me. And it will continue to have nothing to do with me, so please don't contact me again. I cut her off sharply. What do you mean by that? I'm saying I'm getting a divorce. Once Jackson and I are divorced, you and I will be strangers. I won't have any obligation to take care of you. Apparently, my words have been heard on speakerphone because I heard Jackson exclaim,
Divorce?
I don't need a husband who does nothing around the house, doesn't care for the baby, shows no interest, and lacks even a speck of consideration for me.
How will you live without me?
I'll live more peacefully without you.
How will you manage without my income?
Don't worry about that. I've already started looking for a job.
What about the kid?
I'm also looking for daycare. I informed him, which seemed to shake him.
Where do you find the time for that?
He stuttered. Are you finally understanding just how busy I am, and I don't even have time to look for a job or daycare? I pointed out his hypocrisy.
Well, I guess.
So you understand that, yet you do nothing around the house and you go on a trip abroad to change your scenery? He was speechless. Do you think this marriage is beneficial to me? I pressed him, and he remained silent, which was all the answer I needed. What a fool. But from behind that fool, his mother shouted again. Jill, what about Scott? She yelled, realizing that Scott's presence was missing from the empty apartment.
Don't worry, I'm with Jill,
Scott calmly declared over the line. Honey? She was stunned.
I'm fed up with you.
What are you saying?
So we might as well get divorced too.
What?
Contact me on my cell when you find a new place. We'll have our lawyers handle this.
Wait, please, don't leave me.
What are you saying? I'm not leaving you.
What?
I'm just throwing out the trash. A wife who neglects her husband.
He stated sharply, and then he moved toward the kids' room. Silence followed on the other end of the phone. She might be shocked into silence. Hello? I called out.
Yes.
Jackson replied weakly, his voice devoid of energy. As your father mentioned, I'd like to discuss the divorce through lawyers.
Okay.
Be ready to discuss alimony and child support.
Alimony? I understand child support, but why alimony?
Because of the mental distress you've caused.
But
you what? I pressed, waiting for him to justify his actions against my mental anguish. But silence followed. Nothing then? Well, that figures. After all, living freely by his whims, what suffering could he possibly claim? Everything you've done, or rather haven't done, is documented daily.
What?
I heard keeping a diary can be beneficial during divorce proceedings. It was supposed to be for recording our baby's growth, but it's been useful to document your lack of action. Or should I say your absence? Either way, it's clear you haven't done anything to help.
I'm sorry.
He finally admitted guilt.
My bad. I'll start taking care of our son and helping around the house, so...
You'll take care of who? I interrupted.
Our son.
Really? Son, huh? How do you care for a child who doesn't exist? I took a deep breath and said, Our baby is a girl. Forgetting even the gender of your own baby? Are you out of your mind? I yelled at him.
What? You said during the pregnancy it was a boy.
That was a mistake by the doctor because of the baby's position during the ultrasound. Do you even remember your daughter's name? That's why you're confused about the gender.
I do. It's a gender-neutral name. Ryan.
It's Riley, I shouted and hung up the phone. I was so upset that I even turned off the phone. Although I still need to be in contact with him for now, I plan to block his number once everything is settled. I can't believe he even got our baby's gender wrong. Normally that wouldn't happen, but it just shows how little he interacted with our baby. He never changed a diaper, never held her. Not even once did I see him call her by her name. It's pathetic how I ended up marrying such a loser. Later, thanks to an acquaintance of my father-in-law, we were able to hire a skilled lawyer to handle our divorces. Scott and Linda called nonstop, but I ignored everything except what was necessary. Eventually, both our divorces were finalized. I made sure that my ex-husband paid the alimony and child support in one lump sum, stating that otherwise he wouldn't see his daughter again. He does have visiting rights after all. I thought he would request to pay in installments, but surprisingly, he accepted the lump sum payment. It must have been a shock to him, not just a divorce, but also realizing he had misunderstood his baby's gender. It's too late for regrets now. Linda begged Scott to the very end, but their marriage was already beyond repair and the divorce proceeded. The division of assets went in his favor since she had squandered much of their money on overseas trip and other expenses. Now penniless, my ex-husband and his mother, who lives off a small pension, had to move into a cheap rundown apartment together. My daughter and I are happily living with Scott in our new home. He initially could only crawl, but gradually he's been able to stand and now he can walk reasonably well with a cane. It's endearing to see him improve his mobility around the same time my daughter started to crawl and then walk. He is clearly delighted.
"One day we'll go for a walk together,"
he said, and my daughter, whether she understood or not, replied, "Yes," and smiled sweetly. While it's good to work hard, I've learned that overdoing it isn't beneficial. I've recently re-entered the workforce, but I made sure to rely on daycares and public services without hesitation. If I'm happy and smiling, I know my daughter will be too.